Breaking news. The first domino of Cowboys free agency has fallen. Adam Schefter reported that Cowboys and defensive tackle Ohdigizuwa reached agreement today on a 4-year, $80 million deal that includes $58 million guaranteed with a $20 million signing bonus. And I have to say, I am a little bit shocked. I'm not nearly as shocked as I would have been if all those reports hadn't been coming out about Dallas being willing to franchise tag Ohdigizuwa if they didn't get a deal done. So we knew that the Cowboys were interested in re-signing him, bringing him back on a pretty large contract because all of the projections that we saw were really close to this number. So let's look at the contract, look at the player, and break it down. Did the Cowboys make the right decision? Let's get into it. So going into free agency, the Cowboys had quite a few guys that were going to hit the market, but none that had the number and the production that Ohdigizuwa had. To be honest, I really didn't think the Cowboys front office would really be all that interested in doing anything with their defensive interior because it's the Cowboys. Since when do they care about defensive tackles and paying defensive tackles, especially when you're talking about a guy that's going to be making $20 million a year and just got $58 million guaranteed. But the Cowboys did lock up their third-round pick from a few years ago, and for a position group that has really struggled, really needs bodies, not even bodies, they need good NFL players. Signing Ohdigizuwa for the future, for the next 4 years, kind of solidifying that defensive tackle position, or at least the 3-tech, is a big win in my book. All I could think about was how bad they would be off not having him. If you lost Osa, who is playing on the defensive interior? Ohdigizuwa was more so a pass rushing threat, could play the run pretty well, but mainly get after the quarterback, be a pocket pusher. And when Micah and Osa and Lawrence, when they were clicking on all cylinders, nobody could pick up a 3rd and 5+. Nobody was picking up 3rd and longs against this defense. So with Osa's contract, I know the sticker shock is gonna happen. It happens with every new contract. It happens when the Cowboys pay anybody. But if you look at it, 4 years, $80 million. I'm not a mathematician, but that comes out to $20 million per year. It sounds like a ton for a defensive tackle, but in reality, it's not. It's falling around that 14, 15 range. He's barely inside the top 15 paid DTs in the league, which is really fitting for him. We saw the number of 21 million, 22, 23 million being thrown around here and there. So to get him at 20, it feels like a win, especially when you consider that he's gotten better year over year with the Cowboys. In 2024, I didn't think Osa started out that great. I thought the entire defense struggled. It wasn't just him. Seemed like everybody was out of position. Nobody knew what they were doing, what Mike Zimmer was asking them to do. They just weren't playing well. But as it kind of became clear, Osa really took over in the back half of 2024, and it was a big reason that I didn't think the Cowboys would be able to afford him. Really quick, guys, before we continue, I have to tell you about today's sponsor, BetUS. I know that the NFL season is over, but that doesn't mean the action stops. Whether it's the NBA, college hoops, UFC, or even NFL futures for the 2025 season, BetUS has you covered. They have been America's favorite sportsbook for over 30 years, and right now they're giving you a massive bonus when you sign up. 150% deposit match on your first and 125% match on your next 2. That will allow you to bet on playoff basketball, fight nights that are coming up, March Madness, or even early Super Bowl odds for next season. I mean, there's always something to cash in on. You think the Cowboys are going to win the NFC East next year, which is totally a possibility? You can lock that in now. So head over to BetUS, claim your 150% and your 125% deposit bonus, and get started today. I wanted to say thank you to BetUS for not only helping me, but allowing people to not just sit and wait for next season, but to stay in the game. BetUS, where the game begins. Osa was 16th in the league in pressures last year. Not 16th in the league in pressures amongst defensive tackles. He was 16th amongst all defensive linemen. That means that you're factoring in names like Chris Jones, Nick Bosa, Zadarius Smith, Trayvon Walker, Will Anderson, Micah Parsons, Myles Garrett. He was ahead of guys like Max Crosby, who didn't play a full 17-game season, but still had more pressures than him. He was ahead of Rashawn Gary, Leonard Williams, Quinnen Williams, George Karlaftis, Leonard Floyd, Vita Vea, even Jalen Carter. He was ahead of all of those guys, and I think it really puts into perspective how good of a 2024 year he had. So to get him in that price range of 14 to 15 of the top paid defensive tackles in the league feels about right. That is market value, and then maybe you get a little bit of a hometown discount because he was drafted by the team. It does fall in line with what we saw with the projections, where he is amongst other defensive tackles. He's behind guys like Javon Hargrave, Christian Barrymore, Kenny Clark, Leonard Williams, but he's ahead of guys like Vita Vea, Ed Oliver, Grady Jarrett, Zach Allen, Cameron Hayward. I've loved Osa ever since he was a rookie. He's gotten better and better year over year. I think there are some things that he could do better in the run game as a run defender, but as a pass rusher on third and long, when he can pin his ears back, get after the quarterback, he can push the pocket, he can win with some pass rush moves, and he can be good enough against the run. I just think about, if you didn't sign him to a deal, what are you doing? Are you getting another guy to take that kind of production? You would have lost 60-something pressures from 2024. Who's filling that gap? I don't even think, if you drafted 2 defensive tackles, you had Mozzie, you plug in another guy here and there, I don't think you're getting to 45 pressures with all of those combined. To get a player that has those kind of numbers that match the contract just makes too much sense. But you guys let me know down below in the comments, what do you think about the Osa deal? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Make sure you go down there, comment your thoughts down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. A quick video today. Not a ton of editing, hopefully not a ton of rambling either. I love you all, and I'll see you with a mock draft very, very soon. I love you all.